Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Daniel, and today I am here with a $3,000 editing PC build or workstation, or again, whatever you want to call it. This is just meant for things like video editing, 3D modeling. If you do like heavy photoshopping, I don't know, anything that generally takes a lot of render time. Photoshopping, maybe not. Photoshopping, you can get away with like a $1,000 PC, in all honesty. But for heavy video editing and things like that, this will just work flawlessly. I went with an AMD video card in this build, so if you want to add, OpenCL support to whatever you're doing, that'll be fine. Or if you like CUDA, you could definitely switch up the graphics card to something else. Although I found in, Radeon series graphics cards versus, NVIDIA's gaming series graphics cards, OpenCL was more heavily supported in the Radeon graphics cards, and I didn't have money to go with like a Quadro or anything. So this is kind of what I'm stuck with at the minute. But if you do a lot of gaming, then you can either go with this or like a 780/780 Ti and get away with that as well. So getting right into this, for the CPU, on the Intel Core i7-4930K 3.4 GHz 6-core processor. This is $556.99. It does have hyper-threading, though, for efficient scheduling, so it will perform kind of like a 12-core, obviously fluctuating a lot more, because, AMD's 8 cores like the 8350 are on par with, i5s and things like that. So, yeah, for the CPU cooler, on the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo sleeve-bearing CPU cooler, this is $29.95. This is enough to keep the CPU cool, but I wouldn't really do any overclocking. I mean, you can probably just bump it up a little bit to like 3.6 gigahertz, maybe 3.8, maybe 4. Although I wouldn't push it past 4 unless you upgrade your CPU cooler or, just add another fan to this current one. So yeah, for the motherboard, on the Gigabyte GA X79 UP4 ATX LGA 2011 motherboard, this is $239.99. I was going to go with the Asus X79 workstation class board, although that's a totally different form factor that only fits in some cases. And I would rather go with this personally and get, a standard case than have to go with like an SSI board and some like insanely pricey case. Although don't get me wrong, the case we went with in this build is pretty pricey. So yeah, for the memory, only the G.Skill Ripjaw Z series, 64 gigabytes, which is 8 sticks of 8 gigabytes. DDR3 2133 megahertz memory. This is $679.99 with a cache latency of 9. Again, you could do a bunch of things with this. If you're going to be, 3D modeling, you could cache all of your meshes. If you're doing simulations of any kind, you can cache all of your meshes in your RAM for just much quicker playback at higher FPS and things like that. Or if you're doing a lot of video editing and you're adding tons of effects on top of effects on top of effects, it's good to have a lot of RAM as well. Or if you're doing a lot of photoshopping, I guess this could work as well, but you wouldn't need 64 gigabytes. Or another option is to make a RAM disk, obviously. You can set aside 16 or 32 gigabytes or whatever to make a RAM disk, and that will help your performance a lot. So yeah, for the storage, only two things. The first thing is Western Digital WD Black, 4 terabytes, 7200 RPM internal hard drive. This is $250, and it's a surprisingly good value for a mechanical hard drive of this speed. Not much more I could say there, really. You can go with a WD Blue if you want, although they do not have them in 4 terabyte capacities. For the SSD, only the Samsung 840 EVO, 250 gigabyte solid state disk. This is $150. And this is where I recommend you store all of your, not all of your applications, but the applications that you use the most, obviously. So if you use Premiere a lot, or Sony Vegas, or Photoshop, or whatever, you could store all those on this hard drive, or on this SSD, I should say, and you could store your OS on here. So because writing to SSDs is not the best. SSDs withstand a very limited number of write cycles and read cycles, especially write cycles. So I recommend you put your applications on here, but not, write a lot of data. That's obviously what the hard drive I have in this case is for, which is the Western Digital WD Black again. So if you're rendering video or whatever, I'd recommend you render it onto the WD Black. And yeah. So for the video card, with the Sapphire Radeon R9 290X, I should say, 4GB Tri-X video card. This is $658.46. Now, again, this is meant to support your monitors. You could support, I don't know, triple 4K monitors off of this if that's the way you want to go. If you're into heavy production, you want to like split your, if you want to split your screens up and just split, if you're working in Premiere, you could have 3 monitors open with, I don't know, Chrome in one tab of whatever you're doing in Chrome, and then 2 Premiere screens for, video sources and things like that. That's always helpful. Again, I do my editing in Premiere, so that would be extremely helpful for me. So yeah, for the case, the Corsair 900D ATX full tower case. This is a $20 mail-in rebate right now, making it $280. It's a pretty sturdy case. I'm not gonna lie. It actually came out a while ago. I say a while ago, but it was actually a couple of years ago that this came out, and this case is still one heck of a case. I don't think anything has beat it as far as price to performance goes in the high end. There's like the Cooler Master Cosmos and things like that, which obviously are more pricey, but this in the high end is about as good as it gets without just wasting money, I think. Again, insanely good support for like water cooling radiators and things like that if you want to go that route. Super sturdy, tons of drive cages, stuff like that. So yeah, for the power supply with the Corsair 760 watt 80 plus platinum AX760, fully certified, fully modular power supply. I cannot even talk today. I'm sorry, guys. This is $170 right now and is a pretty beast of a power supply. You could remove all the cables you want in this for much better airflow, although it shouldn't be much of an issue anyway, being that we have such a huge case. It also has 80 plus platinum certification, as I said already, so you'll get great value as far as energy efficiency goes. So yeah, like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new here. I post content every other day. Thanks for watching, and peace.